Think smarter, not harder. All right, let's talk about a personalized AI research assistant powered by the team at Google and Gemini's 2.0 multimodal understanding capabilities. So this particular tool, it's a free tool for now. Right now it's still in beta, but it is working fantastic. And I think it is a great resource for folks that are looking to take things like journal articles or any type of text and turn it into something where they can quickly grab key insights and find things of note or interest that can trigger some other activities. And NotebookLM does a lot of really cool stuff that I'm going to take you through right now. So I've got a couple of notebooks. I use this tool myself because I do research for different activities outside of YouTube. But I want to take you through how I took what I would call a pretty complex paper and show you just how complex it is, because you can take something like this and you can see this is from the ADP Research Institute, that it's got all types of embedded photos and pictures, all kinds of different texts and formats, and like I've used this paper a couple times for actual different studies I'm working on, but as you can see by the highlights. But again, you look at these very complex graphs, you look at all of these different fonts that's being used, and NotebookLM is going to take all of this. There's multiple pages, almost 20 pages of information dense, image dense information, and it's going to be able to just kind of pare it down into useful insights that you can take away and not have to spend hours reading through and thinking through a large paper like that. So that was pretty instantaneous. We just trained the NotebookLM on our document. It's already giving us some insights and a description. Now we're going to take a look at some of the more interesting features of NotebookLM. We can create a study guide. So that only took a minute or two. I think one of the things I want to demonstrate is just how fast the tool works. It is very, very fast. I started using it early on and several months ago, but it's only gotten faster as the beta continues with this. Again, this is from the folks from Google and currently in beta. Easy to access. I'll put a link in the description. But we'll after the video ends, so you can take a look at that. Easy to log in. Just use your Google account. Same sort of privacy restrictions that any Google account has. You probably already have a Gmail, so very easy to deal with. Just going to go through some of these other features before we get to the cool thing, and the thing that I think really sets this apart from multiple other AI tools, specifically geared towards students or folks looking to see trading in a different way, maybe. So maybe you're a professional, a manager that wants to train their team on a specific document. Again, be careful because your company's data is precious. And they have various policies, so follow your company's policies. But maybe you're a small business owner, and maybe you want to have an extra sort of tool. You don't have the budget for an actual training team, so you just want to be able to take new employees and walk them through some of your processes and steps. You can use this to kind of quickly parse through your different processes. And again, as a student, is taking a paper as complex or even greater complexity maybe, but I thought this one was pretty complex in terms of just how many pictograms and different fonts and embedded images were inside that document. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of the complexity. Is it was very simple. So you can take Word documents, turn them into a PDF, upload them as a PDF. Everything you want to load up to NotebookLM is a PDF. The timeline feature I thought was pretty interesting. I wanted to look at this document from a timeline. This may not be the ideal one to look at from a timeline because there's not a lot of time-based activity here, but it does give you a breakdown of how some of the research came up and when it came up, and even tells you roughly how long the different minutes and hours it may have taken to get through some of those activities, which I thought was pretty awesome. So moving on to the fun part of this video, which is NotebookLM will take all of that information, turn it into a podcast. The podcast part takes a few minutes, so let's give it some time to cook. Let's give it time to bake. And there we are. And it was that fast. And I let it run in the video as long as it took to cook, just so I could show you just how fast that the AI learned the information, took it, and parsed it into this podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty interesting today. The whole world of employee promotions, motivation, and this thing called the EMC index.
Yeah. It's a pretty fascinating area, and
I've got two really cool reports from the ADP Research Institute to kind of guide us through this. The truth about promotions, employee motivation, and the EMC index.
Yeah.
And they've crunched the numbers. They've looked at data from millions of U.S. workers, and some of their findings are pretty surprising.
Yeah, it really does make you kind of, rethink what you thought you knew about what makes people tick at work.
For sure. So let's start with promotions, right? Just off the top of your head.
I think the podcast feature is brilliant. Imagine taking a paper, uploading it to NotebookLM, converting it to a podcast, and then just going for a run. What if you're a teacher and just need to take some key insights, converting them into a quiz? Knowing how the capitalisms work, I know this tool will not be free for long, so I suggest jumping on the bandwagon and using it as long as the ride is free. You'll learn anything as long as you upload it in a PDF. As a student, this is a tool I would use for much of my research. So, I've taken you through NotebookLM, and now I'm going to shamelessly ask you to like and subscribe. The way the algorithms work is that the more interaction I get, the better the channel performs. So please like, subscribe, interact in the comments, and if you have a similar channel, feel free to chime in. If you have any sort of suggestions for how the channel can be better, please jump in, throw it in the comments.